In this learning goal video, we're going to talk about how to state a conclusion based on a p-value. And we'll use the rock, paper, scissors example to talk about this. In the rock, paper, scissors example, the null hypothesis is that the long-run probability your friend chooses scissors is 33%. The alternative hypothesis is that the long-run probability your friend chooses scissors is less than 33%. This yields a p-value of approximately 0.185, indicating that the chance model is plausible. Here are some guidelines for evaluating strength of evidence from p-values. In other words, how do you know that a p-value of about 0.185 means that there's not much evidence against the null hypothesis? Well, statisticians have developed these guidelines that give us a rough sense of what p-values are large and what p-values are small. P-values greater than 0.1, not much evidence against the null hypothesis, the null is plausible. Between 0.05 and 0.1, that's moderate evidence against the null. Between 0.01 and 0.05 is strong evidence against the null. And less than 0.01 is very strong evidence against the null hypothesis. This fits the general trend. Essentially, the smaller the p-value, the stronger the evidence against the null hypothesis. Thus, our p-value of approximately 0.185 indicates that the chance model is plausible. So, we do not have much evidence that your friend is choosing scissors less than 33% of the time. It's plausible that your friend's long-run probability of choosing scissors is, in fact, 33%. A couple of words of caution. Some students, when they state their conclusion, do not state the conclusion in context. They might just say, there's not much evidence against the null. And while that's a correct statement, we want students to go further and make sure that you can translate not much evidence against the null into a statement about your friend's probability of choosing scissors. So if you say there's not much evidence against the null, keep going. What does that mean? That means there's not much evidence that your friend is choosing scissors less than 33% of the time. Some students are also a little unclear how to state conclusions. They might recognize that a p-value greater than 0.1 is large, but are unsure how to put that into everyday language. Here's a couple of template sentences that you may use, especially when you're first stating conclusions based on p-values. If the p-value is greater than 0.1, you might want to use a sentence like this. We don't have much evidence against, and then state the null hypothesis. So in this case, we don't have much evidence against the fact that our friend is choosing scissors 33% of the time. Or if the p-value is quite small, you might say, we have very strong evidence against the fact that our friend is playing scissors 33% of the time. There's lots of ways to use the English language to make valid conclusions about the data. These two template sentences are merely meant as a couple of options that you can use, especially when you're getting started and you're trying to learn the language of statistics.